Hello everybody, how's everyone there? I'm Mega Kitates. Anyway, today we are gonna break down Nijisanji situation, which is getting bad to worse lately. And more so, I actually kind of like released two videos about the situation. One of them actually got quite dislike on them because people apparently doesn't like hearing the truth from me apparently. So LegalMindset actually did along the line of releasing a new video, a stream to be exact, where he actually talked about point to point about Nijisanji as well as Luca situation on the allegation and things that he may be actually consider breaking their contract multiple time along the line. And it's actually interesting because I actually thought about the situation myself, where I talk about like the allegation is too strong, the evidence give out by Russia is very powerful because it's not soft evidence. Don't get me wrong, there are a few soft evidence here there, but then again, with most evidence coming up, I was also one of those people waiting for her statement because I know full well that when she released her statement, it will be enough to break a lot of people's mind. So in a way, I was actually very glad that this information was put out. But then again, considering that this situation being put up, we have to consider that why does this so-called evidence is enough to prove multiple points, including like why favorism is existing within Nijisanji, why Kree is part of Nijisanji talents along the line. And I actually thought like in past video, not live stream but past video itself, where I actually mentioned that there is a possibility that the contract for Sayu or Tokibird may be considered, the termination can be considered void, and that Nijisanji own them compensation or apology for it because of Luca-san is as well. So a lot of things does not look very for Luca-san or Nijisanji in any form. So I will be explaining point to point. I kind of like thought like drag it out on when I released the video for this. Like almost 1 hour. Another one where I also talk about some of the former VTuber are healing and they are also winning at the same time. Like it's kind of interesting to see that those talents. Like even for Make Min, when I post about that video, she was almost going to reach that silver play button, and once 1 day after, apparently she managed to reach that point, which proved to show that a lot of people are also supporting her. A lot of people want her to get the silver play button, which she was denied, including like Tokibo even got the silver play button when she was in Nijisanji. So the thing is, right, it really showed to prove that Nijisanji is really denying a lot of good things for their talents. And right now, considering that a lot of them are now, most of them that are now considered winning in life after being out of Nijisanji, it really showed to prove that Nijisanji is really not a very good company as a whole, which again I will explain point to point and why a lot of people give speculation to that. And if you're a Nijisanji hater, do understand that all these points do lead out to those speculation, whether you like it or not. And at the same time, considering the action done by Nijisanji, I will give you guys like the things that you should have done along the line, and maybe not the best one, but at least it will, at least in my view, consider the minimum to minimum or minimize the damage they would have in the first place. So first thing all start out, I think we all know very well the Luca Kaneshiro allegation that happened over the past week or so, is that this statement released by Russia is really strong. I know a lot of people will be saying that, hey, maybe there is other way to make it better along the line. Like for Russia-san, she kind of like have to track some of the evidence because some of them include names, and that is enough to dodge someone else, and people will go and attack some other people for that. So I think it's best that some of the information she best kept secret for now, unless in future when the person is out, maybe they can talk about it along the line. So for now it's best for you to be quiet. But it's actually more interesting that legal mindset do talk about it, and even in FalseEyeD video, FalseSun did highlight most of the clip, indicating moment of Luca-san had breaking multiple contract itself and how he should be fired or terminated along the line. And I talk about this in my video myself already. I actually mentioned a lot of time that consider all the allegation, all these things is enough to terminate it's enough for Nijisanji to terminate Luca-san like 20 plus time. I actually at the time I would say a lot of time on it because I couldn't count based on all this allegation itself. So based on Andrew Sam's statement, he could have been terminated over a 2,000 times. So it's really powerful to show that how the contract that was leaked to the public was enough to indicate that, hey, yes, legal mindset has stated that Luca-san had break the multiple contract, like letting someone else to do the work for him, or releasing information that is supposed to be confidential within the company itself to a third party along the line, as well as showing indication that there is like he having issue with some of the talents within Nijisanji along the line. So there is a lot of things. But the reason why I say that if we are looking at the whole situation, why would there be favoritism? I mean, like, is it because he's part of the Lucia with the Golden Boys, the one who made a lot of money for the company along the line? Well, the thing is, right, maybe so if that is the case. But the thing is, right, what we have to understand is that why there is favoritism is not just because of that he's one of the Golden Boys. Because the thing is, right, the reason why the favoritism come about in the first place is actually more towards that he had break two rules in the allegation himself, indicating that when Sayu or Zion at the time was terminated for, as well as Selen Tatsuki or Tokibird now, also have been terminated as well, as based on the statement when they were terminated once. So what are they? The first one we have to highlight is that I quite a lot of people actually pointed out is as in it, I mean, like Salvi-san kind of point out is about it. Let's say let's talk about it. Lydia-san, I'm not sure. I mean, like she did comment reaction to the whole situation, so I think they also kind of point out. So I will link out the video to all these in the link below so you guys can check it out based on their view. I'm just giving a short form, and it's kind of interesting that the things that I say long before them. I mean, like if I say about this like 5 days ago at the time of this recording, when they start talking about it before that, so I really kind of understand the situation a long time ago. The reason why I'm still talking about it now is just kind of like just breaking up the video that I did long ago to make it easier for you guys to digest. So the thing is, right, for Sayu-san, she was terminated for making use of other people copyrighted background music at the time, whereas Selen was actually paying others using her account for commission that is apparently not approved by the company. So what are those things? I mean, like if you guys think about it, right? Number one, Luca-san had used copyright music himself. It's well known that he actually used the one from Okayu at the time, and he was found out and he apologized for it. So technically, why would Luca-san not penalized for it, whereas Zion was penalized? I mean, like right now she's known as Zayu. So the thing is, right, if the company stated that if Zion was terminated due to that reason, then it stands to show more that Nijisanji should have actually terminated him as well for due to that reason. So it really stands to show that Nijisanji is showing a little bit of double standard at this point. Is it because of like they favor boys over girls along the line? Maybe. I mean, like there is in some traditional company along the line that they favor boys over girls. It's similar to the ancient time about, or maybe in some ASEAN friendly along the line where the Chinese word they say 重男轻女. Basically it means that they favor boys over girls more. And why would that be? Well, often more than not, the reason they tend to go with is because that boys tend to be like having the title of like CEO or doing a lot of heavy stuff, or tend to be the one to be the breadwinner of the family. Basically that's what most people think, and the wife or the girls is supposed to be the one to be staying at home looking after the child along the line. So that is considered traditional thinking. But more so to be the exact reason that most people actually didn't know is that because when when girls married the guys, often more than not the girls take over the family name. So in the sense is that when you have a children, right, most of the time it's not the children taking over the family name of the mother, but actually the family name of the father. So most traditional people want their family name to be passed downwards. So let's say for example, if your surname is something along the line of King or Wang or whatsoever Chinese name or Japanese name as well, is you will notice that it's often the more than not the family name, unless the husband and wife divorce along the line and the child follow the mom and they decide to take over the mom family name, the original family name that she was originally belonged to, or maybe when she remarry along the line and they take over the husband new family name along the line. So again, the new family name. So it's really it's enough to indicate that often more than not, maybe some in some country or in some company along the line or family along the line, that they tend to favor male over female more. But does that mean that is it true for in this case? There is one view that people tend to have about this Nijisanji company. So considering that both Sayu and Tokibird was terminated because they are female, when Luca-san should have been terminated as well. Is it because he have over 1 million subscribers along the line? I don't think that is enough of a proof, because there is also the reason why the favoritism come about. Because if they care about the boys more than the girls, they will just probably just kick out the girls and keep the boys, even if the boys did something wrong. I live in Japan for 6 years. I also live and consider us an Asia person, so I know full well how this kind of situation come about. I mean, like, my late grandma and my late great grandma, they are really considered belonging to the situation of they care about the male more than the female along the line. So I know full well about the situation myself. And then when you consider, like, is that one of the reason why that is one of the favorite reason? There is only one of the reason, because that's where people think that, hey, if Sayu and Tokibird was terminated to that, then very well Luca-san would have been fired. So if he's not fired, then that is where favorite reason come about. So you have to understand that maybe they just favor Luca-san more over than Selene and Sayu, because if you think about it, right, it seems to me that it may be due to the personality as well. I mean, like when Selene Tatsuki want the company to pay for her commission and the company keep rejecting, like delaying it or rejecting it, she go against the company policy and she pay out of her pocket money. Luca-san, if you think about it, right, he keep it quiet from the company. He pay Rasia-san for all the commission that he should have done it himself, or he should have reported the company. Instead, he did not, and he just paid it out using his account. And mind you guys, it was in the proof of the in the 90 plus pages along the line, which is ridiculous, and that is enough to prove that Luca-san did the same thing as Selena Tatsuki. It's just that maybe why another form of favoritism is that maybe they don't, the management doesn't like, excuse me, like maybe the management doesn't like Selena Tatsuki due to her tendency to go against a lot of the management style, whereas Luca-san tend to be willing to listen to the agency and listen to the management, and he just kind of like do whatever he wants, but he just keep it quiet along the line. So the management is like, good, one time's ahead for you. So who knows? I mean, like, that may be a form of favoritism. That again, this is all speculative, so take it with a huge pinch of salt and throw the salt at the screen that you need to. But then again, that is when the favoritism, education or speculation come about. Now, the second thing is, right, the same concept, right, can also lead to why Nijisanji could not fire Luca-san, is that he may have a high exclusive position within Nijisanji in a way, not just because he's the golden boy. But the thing is, right, often more than not, in order to like terminate or fire a high exclusive person in the company, often more than not, it's not up to the HR reason to give the termination letter, the management itself to give the termination letter. It's often more than not, you have to lead up to a bit higher out. It can in some company have to be reviewed by the board of the board of shareholder or the CEO of Nijisanji in, or basically recruit himself, that if they want to terminate Luca-san, who is one of the top, not the top payer, but the top position holder within Nijisanji, then they have to review how they have to kind of like put into a vote or something along the line, where they have to discuss, do they want to terminate Luca-san. If if majority of them say no, we should not terminate Luca-san, he get to stay. If they vote yes, they should terminate him, then that is when the terminated letter will come about. But the thing is, right, like I mentioned along the line, it will not look on the company the more Luca-san stay due to allegation against him. There is strong evidence to prove it. And if Nijisanji decided to say, hey, we did our own investigation, there is no foul play along the line, then that is just basically they doing the check themselves, and if they say, hey, no foul play, they just use the gun, shoot at one of their feet, and another Magnus gun and shoot at the other part of their feet along the line. It will definitely not look good, because number one, holding higher position within Nijisanji itself is already enough to prove that, hey, there's favoritism. Number two, there is favoritism either way, because he did not get terminated for offending the same stuff as what caused Sayu and Tokiba to be terminated. Then itself is already like doesn't look good for Nijisanji. So all in all, that is enough to pinpoint that Luca-san, if he do get terminated, obviously a lot of people will be mad at Nijisanji, and if Nijisanji don't fire him, it will still do not look good on the company, because the speculation of Luca-san maybe holding a higher position, or maybe he's being favored by the company along the line, will look stronger than ever. So what is the best option that Nijisanji can do at this point of time? Basically, nothing. Yeah, it's really, I'm actually not lying. They can really do nothing about it. Because the thing is, right, is they actually do this to themselves. They are looking at both ends, and both are huge war to cross over. So it would depend on whether do they look into short-term profit or long-term profit. So obviously one will actually lead to long-term profit and one will lead to short-term profit. Reason being is that if they look at short-term profit, obviously like the most simple way is to keep Luca Kaneshiro along the line. If they want to look at long profit, then they have to terminate him along that line. I mean, like, there is one simple option, a very stupid option, which I would think that if they really do this, it would be the most stupid hype that I have ever seen in the VTuber community. And what is that thing? Well, this is one possibility I think it might lead to, but I'm really hoping that Nijisanji don't go and do it, right? Okay, I said a lot of things that every time when I say Nijisanji better don't do that 1% thing, they always end up doing it. And that is to on publicly to terminate or graduate Luca-san, only to make him stay and debut as a new character. That would be the most stupid thing they can ever pull. So number one, is that considered a win-win? That's again, I want to tell you guys why that is a possibility. Is that number one, they get to keep all the past liver, meaning to say that yes, your Oshi, who is previously known as Luca-san, is now a new character now. So you guys can consider, hey, you know what? We can still keep you. And then at the same time, they also so-called keep their promises on terminated Luca-san. They technically terminate Luca-san, but they did not terminate a new character. So in a sense, right, this is the most stupid thing they can do. And again, I would not recommend to do that. If they think that this is the thing they will be going about, number one, I'll be clipping this moment of me saying that this is one of the possibility, and I also did that day down to indicate that I had said this as a prediction long ago, and I would be telling everyone, I told you so along the line. So who knows? I mean, like, at this point, I hope they don't do something like that very stupidly. Number one, there is actually, if they really want to look at the long-term profit, I would say that terminate Luca-san is the best way to go. But then again, they will definitely get a bit of backlash from their own fan. I mean, like, in the long run, terminating Luca-san is the best way. But again, if they wish to keep Luca-san, then they have to understand that it's three things they have to be very careful. Number one is that they have to ensure that it's no like basically no bad news about other talents, like let's say for example Elia-san or Vault Akuma along the line. Like, they best don't release any information or things that can get them into trouble, or any other people or talents within Nijisanji to talk about things, be on the EN side or the JP side. That's best not to be any big news. And again, a lot of people has been stating that, hey, why is Nijisanji not having like graduation happening along the line? Is it that they start noticing their situation? And yet, it's interestingly that there has been kind of like leaked by actually more by Savia-san as well as Lydia-san, where they talk about I know some people will be saying that they have similar content, but they kind of like told about one of them told a different story, or maybe a little bit different. They give their own take, so take it with a pinch of salt and show the salt at the screen, or maybe throw at them if you need to. Because I talked about their situation quite a while, the issue between Lydia-san and Savi-san along the line. So understand that they do talk about the situation with there may be graduation happening within Nijisanji, and I mentioned along the line that they best not to have graduation or termination within the next month. Again, it's only a month, but like I mentioned, it's best not within that this coming 3 months to 6 months along the line. And right now, if it's happening soon, it will also not definitely look good. As well, it's kind of interesting to see that there are apparent red stating that there may be termination after the concert, because right now the concert is actually fit in place and they do not want any like people to like graduate to or terminated during this period, because the AI is already fixed already. They already kind of do heavy, they really did a lot of heavy editing on the poster, which is like one of the stupidest edit I ever seen. And what is that? Is basically that they recycle, they reuse their past in poster, remove the image of their past label. Like one of the poster they remove Selene Tatsuki, one of the poster they remove Pomu and the others along the line. So it's really, it's like, it's they have the same poster last time, they fail to have the concert, and now they recycle the poster, but because half of the talent is terminated or graduated along the line, and now they are reusing it instead of creating a new one. It's still, number one, they are lazy. Nijisanji is very lazy. Number two, they don't want to recreate, they don't want to spend any more money to do a new design. Number three, they are just very bad at doing PR at this point of time. So it's interesting to hear from some statement indicating that some of the talents are going through under PR training to kind of like indicate that that they are doing like learning PR to ensure that what is the right thing to do. I learn some PR myself, and I have to do I understand how PR work in a way. So often more than not at this point of time, Nijisanji have like play their card to the maximum, and they still trying to squeeze out whatever card that is under their sleeve along the line, and it definitely does not look good for Nijisanji at this point of time. So it's really really bad, and more so that the brainwashing is happening within Nijisanji by stated by many people. And why I would say that, why some people saying there may be a form of brainwashing, is that when when former talents coming out to state like Madara or mean indicating that they initially didn't want to be like one of them didn't want to be a VTuber along the line, or the other one didn't believe that, hey, they can get sponsorship that easily along the line. So when they found out that they could have easily got all these things if they work hard enough as an indie, and or people supporting them along the line, it just proved to show that they do, in number one, they do deserve it. Number two, it's really show that Nijisanji have been brainwashing those talents, indicating that they are nothing without Nijisanji, when in fact it's the other way around. It's Nijisanji couldn't do anything without their talent. What make a company is not just the CEO. CEO, yes, you definitely need a CEO to lead every single thing down the way. But what make a company as well is also the employees, and in this case, is the talents of Nijisanji. So at this point of time, it's actually interesting to hear as LegalMindset themselves have indicated that he will be reviewing the contract for Idol, the VTuber agency Idol, and that he'll be helping to make it the one of the best contract for the current and new talents all along the line. And it'll be interesting to see that this contract will be posted public for people to consider, and maybe it may be considered a good thing, because people will say, hey, that's a good contract, I'm going to sign for this company now. So at this point, it really showed to prove that contract really prove anything, and definitely an action done by the CEO of the VTuber agency like Idol proved that, hey, sometimes you need a good CEO to lead everything. And again, I mean, like, if you look at Yago-san, why he's considered best girl, not because he's being paid less than most of the talents themselves, but it's actually to prove that he actually believes that those talents deserve more than him. They are the one who bring eyes to the company. They are the one who bring name to the company. So in the way, Yago do believe in the talent as well, and that is the reason why sometimes you need a CEO to lead everything. But a good CEO will lead the company up to the sky, whereas the bad one will lay down to the baby Joe Luca. So the thing is, right, at this point of time, it's really interesting to see that a lot of things that I talk about have been coming true. It have been happening. As well as that, right now a lot of people are now talking about it. I mean, like if anyone say that I'm slow to the day, mind you guys, I talk about this situation like earlier, and I give my take long ago, and I don't feel like I want to talk about Nijisanji every single time when I'm actually repeating. I'm just gonna repeat the same thing again and again. I mean, like the next thing about why I say like Nijisanji can be considered a bad company in a way is that I actually thought about this in my situation, like former talent winning and healing, is that they realize that when they leave Nijisanji, there are people willing to support them. There are sponsorship or company willing to do partnership or partner or whatsoever with them along the line. Like Dokiberg got to be the spokesperson, like by feature of spokesperson for Apex Legend, a game that she liked a lot, or as well as she being good at it, as well as for sponsorship like Madara and Dokiba as well, is that they got sponsorship easily along the line. So it's just proof to show that there are people who is willing and going to support those people even if they are out of Nijisanji. It's just that at this point of time, people will be making noise about Nijisanji not making any statement. And again, this does it look good on Nijisanji? I mean, like definitely when people say that there may be a form of brainwashing or the company is not being good, or like trying to say that hey, if you leave Nijisanji, you're not going to strike it good even when you're out of Nijisanji along the line. Then does it look good on Nijisanji? No, obviously not, because it just proves to show that they are willing to blackmail or brainwash their talents just to keep them or trying to make them feel worthless. I mean, like one of the news where they say that one of the talents say Nijisan the best, and well, he or she was trying to apply for another job. It's like, why did you leave Nijisanji when you say Nijisanji is the best? It's like that's really a form of heavy brainwashing along the line. So it's really really bad no matter how you look at it. And again, is the best like the bad action for Nijisanji is that number one, I've been saying this advice like ever since who know how long when, is to have those people get fired. Those people that do the brainwashing get fired. Like tell the whole world, oh, we fired those people who did the brainwashing along the line, because they have to whitewash every single thing in Nijisanji at this point. Number two, they have to reculture a new management in a way. So it's really interesting that the company is like having a lot of like having one of the top market share value above covered to be with the parent company of Hololive Holostar. It's really interesting to see that they have the capacity to do so, but they did not do so. Like they can have the money to hire like it's really very well known in Vtuber agents industry in like cover high like spend all those money to hire the best people they can hire, and they make sure that those people have the right personality to work with them, because they have to go through quite a few phases of interview. I mean, like even for the talent itself, right? They have to go through the first stage, which is basically the paperwork, and a lot of people ask them why is the paperwork important in a way. It's because it's to not only discredit yourself against everyone, it's also if for the people who read through your statement, is that are you interesting for them to hire you as the talents, or for their management, as well as that based on your statement, are you professional enough to work for them. Then secondly, they will interview you once, the phase one interview, to see how you face, and then second time again to understand you more. And that is when, if you pass all of them, that is when they say, hey, we can hire you, because they need to understand who you are. So at this point of time, did Nijisanji did something similar? At this point, it's really very obvious that they did not. Which the reason why a lot of people say that did Nijisanji, like the reason why there is a next speculation coming in, that did Nijisanji just randomly hire a lot of people? Because if you look at Luca-san, his background, Vogt Akuma already been having allegation against him, like being a gaslighter, manipulator, or doxing along the line, as well as some of the talents like Uki-san being a racist along the line. If they can have all these people within Nijisanji, questionable people, so quote unquote, I have to say quote unquote, because if not Nijisanji defender force or their lawyer fans gonna attack me. So it's quote unquote in a way that they may have questionable background, and that can that one of the reason why a lot they come up with controversy on their own, even if they don't need to put in the effort. So it's really good for Nijisanji to have all this talent at this point. If based on the statement of the contract is true, then at this point is really they have to be terminated immediately, like immediately. But then again, if Nijisanji choose not to due to no evidence against those talents or even along the line, then yeah, I mean, like at this point it will be best just to keep quiet and let them do whatever, and hopefully the Nijisanji will just slowly die down along the line. I mean, at this point it's really really bad. Even when people say that if they debut new talents, will it be a good one or a bad one, a lot of people will probably just ignore them. And considering that if you are using Nijisanji as a stepping stone, that would be a different story. I would definitely say that would be a different story. I mean, like, there are some people who is thinking of making use of that point, although I'm not quite sure how you guys gonna do about it if you're aiming for that. For me, I applied for Nijisanji twice in the past. I knew about a lot of things and I wish not to be part of them, which is the reason why after the second application I stopped. I seriously stopped. So my advice to most people who really want to use Nijisanji as stepping stone, by all means go ahead, I'm not stopping you. I don't think you should get discouraged from people stopping you if you wish to apply for them. If you love Nijisanji to the point of wanting to apply for it, by all means go ahead. I don't think anyone should attack you. I don't think anyone should stop you from doing what you want to do. At the same time, is it good for the company to like for the company to continue this way? I don't think so. Like it would depend on the company whether they look into long-term profit or short-term profit. Short-term profit they are doing fine. Long-term profit, yeah, a whole new risk culture is very very important at this point of time. I mean, like for a start at the moment, it seems like some of the moderator that is very toxic or fan that is toxic, right? They have not point, like they never really point all of them out. They maybe one of two of them being pointed out already, but it's really really not good for them because the thing is, right, it's already been well known fact that the Nijisanji defense force have been attacking other VTuber, especially like Hololive along the line, for like slandering them or coming out with statement to attack them however they can. At this point, right, it definitely does not look good for Nijisanji. So the thing is, right, for the company who is well known for having a joint operation with Hololive about slandering, if they do not condemn those fans for slandering, then it's just proof to show that they can bear with no one they can bear with anyone slandering other company but not themselves. So it really shows that Nijisanji is very toxic, it's really bad, and it's, no matter how you look at it, it's really one of is like I mentioned in long time ago, that a toxic company can attract a toxic fan base, and that is really, I say that long ago, I will still state that is true. And is it really true that there is a clear win the company? Well, that is back to the point of that maybe yes, maybe no, maybe I don't know. It's just that when some of the like I kind of like talk about this a lot of time about Nijisanji within themselves having a competition in a way. So if anyone would know about competition within let's say the Amazing Race or a Survivor or any part of, or maybe Master Chef along the line, where sometimes you have everyone competing against each other to be climbing up to the top of the ladder, and out of nowhere there is a few people decide to band together. That is called a clique. And why would it be bad? Because they will be out around trying to sabotage everyone and bring themselves up and cost the win for themselves. So at this point of time, it's really bad that there is the speculation that is coming through, and evidence seems to be coming out and more indication that there may be such a creep happening within Nijisanji. So again, like I mentioned, those are speculation thought. Take it with a huge pinch of salt and throw the salt at the screen if you need to. But then again, I feel like I don't really want to talk too much about Nijisanji anymore. I mean, like, I would leave this thing to Kyo-san, who is back to doing his video. For-san, Lydia-san, Sabi-san, Rima-san, along the line. I'll put up their video in the description below so you guys can check it out. But then again, if you have your own thought after hearing what I'm saying, just write in the comment below and we can discuss it further. But again, let me give you a point that this is all a speculated thought, just a random chat. If you do like it, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that never follow a single trend. But till then, I hope you guys have a nice day or night. Bye!